is Run Reflections. My name is Reverend Priestess Osun Kemibi Ifakemi. If you can hear me, if you can see me, if you have your Bibles, go ahead and drop some honey pots in the chat so I know that you are here with me. And I need to send this out to a few I need to send this link to a few more people, so give me 1 second. If you're here, keep dropping honey pots. And so I know that you're here. Okay, I see a few people. Okay, a few more people. Okay, so get your Bibles out. We are going to be in Psalm 25 today. Hey Jen. Hey Luna. Okay, so we're going to be in Psalm 25 today. Before we start, I just want to do a few announcements. Starting this week, I am launching my Orisa Hoodoo Practitioner Program. This program trains and prepares you for root work opportunities if you try it. It prepares you for priesthood if that is your journey, and it prepares you for personal development within the practice of Orisa Hoodoo. If you are currently in free mentorship and you would like to join the cohort for the practitioner program, you are more than welcome to. In fact, it's highly encouraged. Within my free mentorship program, that is when we are cultivating your personal power. That is when we are establishing who you are within this life, wherever you are within your journey. And we're making sure that you understand the foundational theory and understanding of what it means to be a hoodoo practitioner in general, okay? I'm glad that you are here as well. All is one, Priestess. Thank you for being here. Hey, girl. That's one of mine, too. Okay, so we are in Psalm 25 today. So go ahead and get your Bibles out. If you don't have a Bible, you're using the Bible app and you're highlighting the verses accordingly. Okay. With this might hit different specifically for my students that are in level 1. This is because we are understanding where our help comes from and what that really means. We're understanding and building our trust within our spiritual courts. We are understanding who we are as a people, right? So as children of the diaspora, we already know that we are able to experience things in ways that others cannot. That is due to the sacrifice, the legacy, and just fortitude of those that came before us, our community ancestors and those of our bloodline. What's important to understand is that we keep up what our ancestors have done. And even when times get crazy, when times get hard, we know exactly what to do, right? So starting out with the first verse. Give me 1 second, I'm trying to get my notes up. Okay, so starting out with the first verse. Let's see, you guys are here. So, in you, Lord my God, I put my trust. I trust in you. Do not let me be put to shame, nor my enemies triumph over me. Okay? And then it goes on to say, no one who hopes in you will ever be put to shame, but shame will come on those who are treacherous without cause. So, to begin with, it's opening up a cry of trust, an act of surrender, right? We're understanding and engaging the spiritual alignment to know where our help comes from. And because we know where our help comes from, aligning and surrendering to that nature. When we are surrendering to spirit, our elevated and benevolent ancestors, our elevated and benevolent ancestors, our elevated and benevolent ancestors. I am stressing the importance of the elevated and benevolent ancestors. One, because all ancestors are not the same. Some ancestors still need some veneration, but your elevated and benevolent ancestors, aka your gungun, are those elevated ancestors whose only job is to push the bloodline forward. That's all they care about. They don't care about petty shit. They don't care about the bullshit. They just care about pushing the bloodline forward. Okay? Ego does not exist within a gungun. They are healed, elevated, and up there. Okay? Are you bubble? Okay? And if you guys would like to learn about Ugungun from another perspective, Priestess Omisika is a great priestess to help you with that. She helps. I introduced you guys to the ancestral treasury a while back. She is telling you what it means to sustain and maintain your ancestral treasury. If you don't know what that means, she's helping you open up those roads of wealth. Okay. So again, understanding who your Ogungun are so you can access that, right? So when we are trusting in our elevated and benevolent ancestors, we know that one, we can come to them with anything. Okay, before we light a candle, before we do the herbs, before we do any roots, you understand it is our mouth that we speak out. Okay, it is our cry, our prayer. That's what a prayer is. That's what your petition is. That act of alignment. Okay. So understanding that you cannot expect to be powerful within your work if you're not powerful within your heart. Okay. That's as simple as going to where your help comes from. Right. I trust in thee. Right. I trust in thee. That's simple. I trust in y'all because I know y'all gonna make a way out of no way. Because y'all did. Generation after generation. Okay. Got you, sis. I got you, sis. All is one, priestess. So we have to understand that trust is the foundation of all spiritual work. Trust, you're not only trusting the roots, you're trusting the oils, you're trusting the work. It works, but you have to believe in it, right? Even when we pour libations, right, we're calling on the ancestors. That's calling on that trust to power everything that we need to do. We cannot walk this path with doubt. Not saying that there are going to be some times where anxiety might come up. You're human. That means your nervous system is active. But that means we also must regulate ourselves. That means we must understand, okay, because shit is happening at work, baby daddy, baby mama acting crazy, because all this shit, I know what I need to do. First off, is go to my ancestors. Full stop. Because when you go to them, say everything you need to say. Remember, they've done it before. And you aren't experiencing anything that they haven't, other than the technology. Other than that. But even still, we can speak to the power of the technology that they had. You can share. Let me see. I believe you can put the link to Ia's page. You can put the link to Ia's page and you can share it to your group. Let me put it in the chat so able for you to copy and paste. Give me one moment. While I'm getting that, y'all go ahead and put in the chat right now, I trust in my help. Okay? And your help is your gungun. So you're putting, I trust in a gungun me, which means I trust in my gungun. Okay? So put that in the chat, everybody. And you're also liking this video. So go ahead and put that in the chat while I get this for free. Okay, Priestess, I put it in the chat so you can just copy and paste. Yes, I trust in a gungun me. Trust in a gungun me, yes. And that's building up, you remember, personal power, word sound power, okay? So going on to the next part. Show me your ways, teach me your paths, guide me in your truth, and teach me. For you are God, my Savior, my hope in you all day long. David right here, he's not asking for just any path, right? He's asking for a divine path, which is God's path. People are, when you're out here being in alignment with the divine, with your gungun, you're not just asking for help and then doing what you want to do. That's not what that is. Not saying you don't have free will, but saying you have common sense, right? So saying you're being integral, saying you are acting like you know where your help comes from. So you are moving like your most elevated ancestor. So when you're asking for that divine path, understanding what's coming with it, understanding when you're walking this journey, asking for divine wisdom through mentorship by Reverend Priestess Osun Kemibi, Ifakemi, who currently is running 2 mentorship programs, one free and one to align you to be and train you to be an Orisa Hoodoo practitioner. And through divination. Also through community, like we're here right now. Also like O'Shea that we had last Sunday. And then we had it again a couple days later, right? That's community. That's that divine wisdom. That's that divine path, because we are all here walking the same path. We have the same goal of divine alignment, whether that be through priesthood, whether it be through work, whether that's a straight practitioner, whether that is just to get your shit together. We are all here in community to do that. Okay. It's important that even with this, we are not rushing what that growth looks like. You have to be taught, right? That means sitting under elders. That means listening to your spirits. That means being still long enough to receive the message. You're not just doing shit in hopes that it will work, especially when you have practices that were done before you, right? We're moving how we need to move. right? So teach me. That's the next part. Teach me. And the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Y'all can't say that y'all really ready to learn, and then when you get your assignment, you not be ready to learn. That's the next part. Teach me. Do the assignment and do them well. If you need help, you're in community. If you need help, you have a mentor if you're in my program. If you need help, you are doing what you need to do and asking for that help. I see some more saying that they trust. Yes, good. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Going on and understanding that the next part is saying, remember, Lord, your great mercy and love, for they are from the old. Remember, Agungun, your great mercy and love, for they are from the old. Do not remember the sins of my youth and my rebellious ways. According to your love, remember me, for you ancestors are good. Isn't that just beautiful? Asking for the mercy and the love from your ancestors. Again, the ones who want nothing more than to push you forward, right? This is what it means to call in for ancestral favor, for ancestral protection, right? He's not just talking about personal history of things he did even yesterday, even the things that he's still holding on to now, things that have to be released so you can receive the blessings that they have for you. You cannot pray for a community but hold on to trauma from how somebody else had did you before. Because then how will you be able to receive the community that is divinely yours? We have to remember that our prayers and our cries must match our actions. The Agungun will move when you are ready, but you cannot say that you're ready and be like, hey girl, just kidding. No, especially when you said that you try to push the bloodline forward. Be for real. Be for real. And that's another thing too. When we are making these cries, when we are making these prayers, these petitions, we have to be realistic. If you are literally only tapping into a gungun just to get a check, girl, and even with that, you're not even helping your bloodline out by not providing roads to help them with that, right? It's a relationship. It's not just something that you can just say, okay, I got that. I got a increase in my account this week or something. That's cool. That's good. You was probably owed that from something. But at the same time, to truly have a strong relationship with your ancestors, understand that it's a relationship. As much as time as you would spend with your bae and your boo, you are spending the same, if not more, with your ancestors. The ones who are pushing the bloodline forward. Okay? And understand, because our ancestors have already paid the price, because they have walked this before, and because they lived through us, meaning they know what the fuck we going through. It's not new. It's easy to go to them and say, hey y'all, I messed up and I need help. And that's something, when you are making your prayers of forgiveness. When you're repenting, you're not just repenting in terms of, I'm sorry. No, you are being accountable. The spirit of accountability must be present. We aren't just focusing on the devil made me do it and all this. Nah, Again, we got to be for real. We're dealing with the most integral spirit you'll ever encounter. You're a gungun. Be for real. So knowing that they allow you to just, when I say allow you, I mean in terms of allow you to experience their presence, experience their love, experience their protection. And those of us who have been working with a gungun for a long time, or have been able to develop that connection, you understand what that means to really trust in them, what that really means to fulfill your own heart by creating a relationship with them. Because there are times where when I pray, I don't even ask for nothing. Just thank y'all. Okay? Just thank y'all. That's a prayer right there. It's a deposit into the ancestral treasure as well. But it's also acknowledgement. Again, they have been here before. They have done everything that we could even think of. So they know what you're going through. Trust in them and understanding that that trust is making sure that you're able to have the relationship with them that you need to. So when you're coming in for the forgiveness, when you're coming in for the repentance, you're coming in with accountability. No shame. There doesn't need to be any shame. They're your people. But also understanding you have to be for real. Okay? So moving on to the next part. Good and upright is our ancestors. Therefore, they instruct sinners in their ways. They guide the humble in what is right and teaches them this way. All the ways of the Lord are loving and faithful towards those who keep the demands of the covenant. This goes back to what I said with integrity. We can't just be saying that we're going to be doing things and not following up on it, especially with the ancestors, especially with the gungun. Okay? Righteousness is that spirit of balance. You can't just clean your house and not clean your heart. You can't just light a candle and not fix your spirit. This is what happens when people start saying that the ancestors don't work and, ATR is witchcraft and this, that, and the other. Because, first of all, not understanding foundational, universal, and spiritual law, for one. Two, not cultivating and establishing that relationship that you need to. And three, not taking accountability for doing what the fuck you need to do and changing what you need to change, whether that be through prayer, fasting, meditation, whatever. But divination is pretty clear about what needs to be done for any and every situation that you are provided with. If you do not know how to divine, you are getting a divination done. If you don't know what it means to live in a good life or live a life of the aligned, you are in mentorship getting yourself together. You are in community learning. You are taking advantage of the resources that have been brought to you, especially since you said you're here to learn. Oh, okay. So, understanding that you have to be in order. Put in the comments right now, keep me in order. Because when we are understanding divine order, which is the theme of this month anyway, um, we are understanding the foundation that needs to be set. That's a prayer. That's a petition. That's what you're adding to your practice every day before your feet touch the ground. Keep me in order. I was one Charity. I'm glad that you're able to join us live. We are in Psalms 25. And in your notes, when you wrote keep me in order down, you're underlining it, you're circling it, you're highlighting it, you're making it known that you have to keep yourself in order, because that's a prayer, because that's a petition, because that's your responsibility as a student, as a practitioner, as a priest, as a child of the diaspora. If you fall into any one of those categories, you are to be kept in order. Okay. For the sake of your name, forgive my iniquity, though it is great. Who then are those who fear the Lord? He will instruct them in the ways that they should choose. Divination. They will spend their days in prosperity, and their descendants will inherit the land. We talked about ancestral treasury, what that looks like. Again, the Gungun want nothing more than to push the bloodline forward. Okay, we understand the protection that is being held with them because of the longevity of our bloodline, because of the endurance and the strength of our ancestors. Okay, the Lord confines. Yeah, okay. The Lord confines in those who fear him, and he makes his covenant known to them. For my eyes are ever on the Lord, for he will only release my feet from the snare. And I want to do a full stop right here. When we are speaking, whenever you see in the Bible, if this is your first time taking a Bible class from me, I have spoke on where it says fear in the Lord numerous times before, so you can find one of those videos. They're in there, specifically the Agungun one about the bones on this channel. But understand that when we're saying in the Bible, when it's talking about fear of the Lord, for us as Orisha Hoodoo priests, students, practitioners, it is saying, it's going back to the respect aspect. Okay, so we're not saying, oh my God, be afraid of the ancestors. La, da, da. No, it's just a fucked up way of talking about respect in relation to it. Remember, we used the Bible as a spell book to get out what we need to get out of it. And at the same time, the Bible says, have no fear, just as Ifa says. So when we are reading the Bible, if this is, like I said, if you're still learning how to apply it to your practice, you are continuing Bible classes with me so you can understand it, but you're also understanding how some of the biblical literacy is portrayed. Okay, specifically as children of diaspora, because some of the texts can be harmful. So please just understand that, okay? Going back to the sermon, when it's talking about get it threw me for a second, confused myself. When it's talking about who should fear the Lord, he will instruct them, right? Again, Ifa said you had no fear. There's no reason to be afraid, because anything that can happen, you have the power to change that, right? You have the power to really change your life and your future the way that you would, however you wanted to do. Okay, so if you are trying to live a great life in the land of the living, you are doing what the fuck you need to do so to apply that. But in the same time, you are being protected and mindful of outside influences that may get in the way of that, including your own, right? So that could look like understanding external factors, people that may not support you. In layman's terms, hate us, people just talking shit, people that really have nothing to do with you, right? You're pushing that away. You're praying that away. You're also praying your internal enemies away, such as ego, such as anxiety, such as fear, because these are the things that are going to prevent you from really understanding how to inherit your prosperity. These are the things that are going to prevent you from understanding how to show up in your own personal power. You have to understand, to spend the days in prosperity and inherit the land means you have to be strong, you have to be perseverant, and you have to be in alignment. Okay, so making sure that, again, understanding where your help comes from, because you trust and you're a gungun, because you are being kept in order, and because you're being kept in order and being taught what to do, how to do it, where to go. You also know that prosperity, as it was promised to you, is yours. Any enemies that are going to come for you, your ancestors will release them as they have promised, but also understanding you must be able to release yourself as well. Okay? So, moving on, turn to me and be gracious, for I am lonely and afflicted. Relieve me from the troubles of my heart and free me from my anguish. Look on my affliction and my distress, and take away from all my sins. See how numerous are my enemies and how fiercely they hate me. Again, this is going back to what I just said. See, Jordan. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jordan. Y'all write down what Jordan said. I'm gonna keep it up because Jordan feel me. We have to understand that again, in that whole next section was talking about that as well. Okay, so when we are asking, crying, we know that prayer that's going to shake the altar, that one prayer that's going to have you crying, that one prayer that's going to have you sounding crazy if you yelling loud enough. Some of us have been there, some of us haven't gotten there in their journey yet. That's cool too. But also understanding, again, what we said about the internal and external enemies and how they are relevant or not to your path, right? Only relevant if you let them, if you allow them, if you are not putting yourself in position to receive what needs to be received, whether that is through protection work, whether that's through general accountability, whether that's through prayer and meditation, because some of y'all just really just need to sit the fuck down and just sit in spirit. Some of y'all really just don't need to do nothing at all except for just sit there at your altar and just sit, okay, and just listen. You do. You can't ask for help and then not be ready to receive it. You cannot ask for help and be upset with how it comes. You cannot ask for help and be so far in your own shit that you cannot see how your help is helping. Again, that's not saying you're not taking the time out to cry. That's not saying you're not taking the time out to yell, do whatever the fuck. That's not saying that, because you're doing that. You're doing all those things. In fact, it's healthy if you do so. You're biochemically allowing your body to release. So you're no longer producing stress hormones unnecessarily. Black woman, Black man, Black person, child of the diaspora, whose melanin should be focused on the production and protection of the cells for the immunity. Not for overworking to try to calm you down. When you live in a state of anxiety, when you live in a state of fear, when you live in a state of stress, it is hard for spirit to work the way that they need to. So just sit, listen, so spirit can move, so spirit can work. Okay? We're understanding that when we are asking spirit to guard my life, rescue me, don't let me be put to shame, for I take refuge in you. May integrity and uprightness protect me, because my hope, Agungun, is you. If you didn't take anything else from this verse, from this chapter, verses 20 through 21 are the ones to really take home. They are the ones to really help you understand what it really means to have a gongon show up and show out. We know that trust needs to be there. We know for us, we need to listen so we can receive, especially if we're asking to be taught. We came from kings, queens, royalty, people that literally built the world, not just America, the fucking world. A lot of what you see in, the textbooks taken from our ancestors, any of the sciences, if not all, that was us. They took that shit and tried to put their name on it. So understanding that you literally came from people who powered the world, shaped the world, allowed for so much innovation and technology to be present, even to where you are today. That's a beautiful thing. Tapping into them, tapping into their power is what's going to sustain you. Ayo, that's another class. I think no, no, I did speak on this already. I did. The one from, let me look it up real quick. I think it was the one from last time. The last Riverbank Revelations. Let me check. Let me check right now. Yeah, okay. I did do it. Okay, let me. Okay, I put it in the chat for those of you guys who missed it. You're going back and liking the video. You're also leaving comments and letting me know your thoughts. Thank you. Trying to pull up something else real quick. For those of you guys who felt like this message touched you in any way, shape, or form, whether it was helping to understand where your help comes from, whether it's helping to realign and reestablish who you are, whether it's just to understand your Egungun in a new way, leave some comments. Go ahead and share this video and make sure that you are in tune with what was said, making sure that you're aligning yourself with the trust, with the teachings, and with the alignment of a gungun. Okay, so if this is your first time meeting me and we've never spoke ever, and you are not a student of mine and you are interested, all is one, Priestess. You are, give me 1 second, because I'm putting this information so we can connect on the app. Give me 1 second, y'all. Shit. Okay, so that just dropped in the comments about how to connect with me. If you are not a student of mine, you are gonna send a DM. Also on, y'all, I cannot do two things at once. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, so I found it. So you are going to register with this if you are not already. And that is going to allow you to have free rituals that I'm doing every month. It is also allowing you to be part of my free mentorship program. It will allow you to have access to my other mentorship program, as well as the other programs that my sisters will be launching as well. Some of our private rituals will be on there that are only accessible to y'all and nobody else within the community, as well as understanding in general. This is a private community. The fuck? And it is everything Orisha Hoodoo. So understand what that means. Understand that means that this is a safe space, this is a sacred space, this is a space designed from Reverend Priestess Osun Funke Iyanifa for us. Okay, if you would like to have a reading from me, you may. I just dropped that link in the chat as well. I am doing seasonal path checkups. With that, I will do a bone reading, cartomancy, as well as an astrological reading about the current season that you're at. I will give you steps to move forward depending on where you are in your current season. I'm also still doing my ancestor blessing ceremonies specific to your individual bloodline, as well as just general divinations. If you would like for me to make a custom prescription based off of whatever you have going on, I will right here in my pharmacy. The other one's in the back, but we on camera right now, so this is the on camera one. And I will have everything done for you as aligned with your concerns as well as with divination. I want to thank you guys for spending this time here with me. If you are one of my students in mentorship, I'm about to drop the link. Because y'all know we got a meeting. But for everybody else, thank you for spending this time with me. You may send a love donation at theogflowerchild.com. Remember, everything's okay with Dr. OK. Until next time, peace. Like the river.